Question 1. The essence of the Peace Corps model of development is for a volunteer living in a community to be responsive to that community's needs. Therefore, any individual, group, or community that would be a beneficiary or stakeholder would, in principle, have expressed a need and participated in the program or project development. In practice, it is not always so neat, but volunteers do work closely with community counterparts. It may be the counterpart who reminds the volunteer to seek out input from program participants. Any funded project requires that the grant application process for participants that they need to be involved and included in planning and implementation. Stepping back a level, Peace Corps does not place a volunteer in a community for service until a comprehensive process has been completed intended to assure that the community, the beneficiaries of the work of the hosted Peace Corps volunteer, has had a say in this decision. Typically, a community is initially identified by the ministry, the health, education, or agriculture ministry, because the community has met established criteria reflecting readiness. Over months, Peace Corps visits the community a minimum of 4 times. Initially with the religious leader and the chief of the community, secondly with the assembly of the entire community, sometimes hundreds in attendance. A third time is with key members of the sector area in that community, and the fourth time with the host family, which will actually house the volunteer for 2 years. Through this process, we believe we assure the community has been able to participate in the planning for a Peace Corps volunteer. Question 2. There needs to be trust, and there needs to be a degree of confidence that the creativity and innovation will not be dismissed out of hand, but given a fair hearing. For Peace Corps volunteers working in rural villages, that might be quite conservative with traditional practices that carry the weight of cultural values. Changing patterns will not be easy, and so creative approaches need to be measured against the risks of offending the established norms of behavior. The likelihood of such creative changes taking hold is small if they push against the local values. Question 3. I work for a Peace Corps post in West Africa. Staff members work hard and want to succeed in their efforts. A benefit of the calendar here is that we have a cycle where we do similar things each year. Within a program sector, new trainees arrive one time each year. Intense training takes place for them for 10 weeks, and then they are placed in a permanent site where they will serve that community for 2 years. The site where they are placed requires many meetings and planning. Supporting volunteers over the course of their service requires visits and training and responsive interactions. We employ structured feedback and evaluation after each step of this annual process. With this feedback, we create modifications as indicated. As the staff of one sector is undergoing this annual cycle, the other 2 sectors are in their place in the cycle of their programs. This allows for crossover feedback between staff members conducting their work, learning from insights gained from staff in similar positions. Biannual retreats facilitate some of the bigger adjustments. An example would be the way we conduct site development. Because with 3 sectors, sites are being identified and prepared for one of the sectors at all times. We know how critical it is for sites to be prepared thoughtfully, and so we stop and discuss at key points twice each year to assess the process. We use feedback from volunteers, from communities, from staff to assist with continually improving the process. Question 4. Because Peace Corps is focused on providing assistance to individuals and communities in need, enhancing a project's attractiveness includes making personal the need and potential benefit. Images of and stories told by potential beneficiaries can give an emotional dimension to the project. Also, describing the impact and the directness of the funding toward the outcome is important. Donors want to see a bang for their buck, and showing the thoughtfulness of planning so that every dollar goes toward that outcome can be powerful.